Hi, this is Rachelle with Scrapcraftastic, and I thought I would take you along on the process that I go through to create an insert. The insert that you see on the screen now is the insert that I used in my Pinktober Plan With Me. So this is how it looks on my artboard after it's been set up and laid out. It has guidelines and all that. I work with Adobe products, so I am using InDesign to create most of my inserts. But I'm going to do a special play on this insert so that I can do some foiling and use it with the laser printer. So I kind of want to simplify it and change a few things to make it work for that purpose. So I'm going to use this as somewhat of a starting point and then modify it. I had some hand lettering done for me. I'm going to go over to Adobe Illustrator now. So I had some hand lettering done for me and I need to separate the words. So I'm going to do that first in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to go open that file. And I think I have an SVG. I'm going to open the SVG of it. Okay, so these were hand lettered specifically for me. I'll worry about that later. So I think I'm going to make a new file. And I want it to have 7 artboards. So I'm going to come over here. This isn't a tutorial. I'm just sharing my process, I guess you could say. I don't want them to be full page size. Let's cancel that for now. Let me figure out what size I want. Eight and a half by 3.5. That's what my artboard's going to be. Okay, so let's go a new file. So I want it to be 8.5 by 3.5. I want it to be landscape, and I want 7 boards. And the reason I'm doing this is right now, all of these days of the week are on one artboard, so it makes it difficult to export them individually. So I'm going to make 7 artboards and move these over, and then I'll be able to export them into a different file format easily. And I prefer to work in a new file anyway and keep my originals intact. So I'm just going to place these in here. Wednesday a little smaller. I want them to be the same size, so I'm just going to check by the ease to make sure the ease match. I guess they do match, but Monday seems awfully big. Let's compare it to Tuesday. Make sure it's in the front and bring it down some. That's better. Now, does everything else look pretty in sync? That's good. Saturday is a little large. I think we are pretty in sync here. Thursday looks small. Yeah. Okay, so now I want to go through and try to line them up evenly, center them, So each one should be at 4.25 because that's half of 8.5. I'm sure there's probably a better way to do this, but this is the way that I do it, and I've done something that I say not to do. I haven't saved my file yet. Let me save this. Okay. Now, half of 3.5 is 1.75. So let me check the height. Make sure everything is centered properly. Okay, so I think we are done. I guess I can call them date cover-up that I'm going to add to my insert. So let's do this. Export. I'm going to export as a JPEG. I don't like the way the ping looks when I'm working in not Illustrator, when I'm working in InDesign. So I prefer a JPEG or a PSD. And in this case, I don't have a PSD right now, and I don't want to go make one. So I'm going to export these. I'm going to use the artboard. So what this will do is export each artboard to a single file. So now I can come over here. I'm going to duplicate this layout to work with it, and I can do that by creating an alternative layout in the same file, so I can keep all of the similar layouts together. I need to give it a name. I'm going to do boil half letter, and I'm going to make sure I got everything where I want it. Okay, so this is my new set, and it also gave me a new master page, and I work on the master page. When I'm working on the master page, it'll actually change the pages of the document, I guess you would say. Okay, let me get back over here and open this all the way. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is get rid of the small lines in the background. It's nice to have those guidelines, but I will not be able to use them if I'm going to do foiling because they're so small. I don't want all that foil in my background, so I'm going to get rid of those. Okay, so we've gotten rid of all of the lines. So at this point, I know I want my words up there, so I'm just going to go ahead and import all of the days of the week. I'm going to do a place, and here they are. So I'm just going to select all of them, pull them in, and kind of just place them up here in the back where they need to be. Well, they're so big, I'm going to have to reduce them, but get them all on here. Let's put them to the side since they are so big. I'm going to select all of them together and make them smaller real quick. So I'm going to remove these days of the week text that I already have here because we don't need these anymore. And because of the size of these boxes are the Happy Planner full box size. If I put my days of the week on top, or here in the size that I want, I'm not going to have enough room around the edge. At least I don't think so. Let's take a look, see what we got. Yeah, see how close that is to the edge. Just move these to the back. So we can see our boxes in full. And I could move them down a little bit, but yeah, not everyone has a printer that will print to the edge. So I'm going to do something different. I'm going to remove the first box. Ooh, I got to ungroup all of these first. So I'm going to remove the first box. Then I'm going to place, I need to draw some guidelines. Let me pull over some guidelines so that I can keep everything lined up properly. And because, like I said, I'm doing this on the master, the actual document is going to show everything that I'm doing. So I've switched to the actual document, and this is what it looks like. It shows all the guidelines and everything, but I can't move any of this. Okay, so let me go back to my master page. And then I also want to leave something around the edge so that if you want to use some washi, you are able to. That's one of the things that I consider when I'm doing a layout like this. So we got Wednesday. That's the tricky one. So they all need to be reduced to make sure Wednesday will fit. But I kind of wanted them to be as big as possible so they could be nice and bold, because I really think that the hand lettering is beautiful. And I want it to shine on this spread, or on this insert. It's all part of the spread to me, though. So now I'll need to make adjustments for Saturday and Sunday. So we have a split weekend because the paper isn't wide enough to accommodate 4 columns per page. So we have to adjust for that. Let's put Saturday here. And let's make the column 2.5 in height, like the other columns. And half of the page is 4.25. Just drag a guideline here. And I'm just going to have to figure out how I'm going to style the weekend after I do this. Let's save our file because I made a lot of changes and I haven't saved. So this is where we are. Just hide the guides. Oh, I need to turn off frame edges. There we go. So that's what we're looking like. What I thought I would do is, even though I didn't want to have a lot of lines for the foil, is that I would do a few checkbox lines at the top. So, and also I need to thicken the lines of these boxes. Let me do that now, so that we'll have a thicker line for the foil to adhere to. So right now I think I have yeah, half a point. I'm going to go up to 1 point. And let's make our checkbox. Let's turn my guides back on. This is how I find the press writer symbol that I want to use. Press writer is a font that has different symbols that you use for press. And I did them in all caps, so let me change the case. There's my boxes. So it's a Z. Let's drag this off in case I need it again. And I think I'm only going to do 3. So that way you could use it as a top 3 if you want. And I'm going to go up on the size to 14. Maybe I'll go to 16. I want this to be fairly legible. And give me some more space in between these. Where's my paragraph rules? So now I'm going to group this together. And I think I'm going to move them down a little bit. No, let's see how they look once we get them in place. Something about that I don't like. I think it's because there's not enough gap in between them, so I'm going to change the width of the lines. And give us a little space, a little more breathing space. A little more space. Still not thrilled with the positioning, but you could put some washi tape or something there. I think maybe I should put them in a box or give them a header. Let's try a header. I don't know. I think I like it better without the check boxes. I've got them hidden for now, so let's leave it like that and I'll keep working. That way, if you want lines there, you can put lines there. If you want to do some kind of decoration across the top, you can do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it that way. You can cover it with washi if you choose. We get options. So just continuing to make adjustments, make sure everything is aligned. And I'm concerned about this gap here. But if I change that, then this will change the alignment here and here. So I think I'm going to leave it. It's not too bad. That's the problem with having the split weekends. And that doesn't seem like it was centered properly. Let's see if I adjust it a little bit. I can always go back. Change the height to 3 inches. No. That's not going to work. I'm just going to leave that the way it is. Oh, this This is not lined up properly either. When I group those, that's how I got out of it. Okay, so I think we are done. This is the insert that I am going to print and foil. I'm going to print it on my laser printer, and then I'm going to show you how I foil it. So stay tuned for that. I think this video got a little long, so I may need to split this up into 2 parts. So this is going to be the first part, and you can find the link to the second part in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this first part. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little gray bell so that you receive notification each time I upload a new video. Be sure to check the community tab and my stories for updates throughout the week. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.